Hello everybody and welcome back to Stellaris, where we are currently slightly miffed at the Hythean Empire for taking this. And also this. We'd be in a much better position if we held both of these. Unfortunately we don't, and there's not much we can do about that right now. We are of course working on fortifying these areas. I suspect they're going to think about attacking us. So there's that. Now, this fleet could actually hold up to 50 at this point. Our naval capacity is only 21. So we could have one more naval capacity. That's noted. We may want to go ahead and do that. Just build one additional gold trichrome class. Trichome? There's no R here. Okay, so we may want to do that and reinforce that. That'll bring us up to our naval capacity, and our naval capacity is going to upgrade soon. Yeah, plus 25 in 4 months. So that's going to get us close enough to 50 that we can probably just max out this fleet at that point. So that would be a very good thing. For the meantime, though, we're working in Trin's Promise, and we're working on getting some of these gaps filled in and heading out this way, now that we've cleared that up. So that'll be absolutely wonderful. We're also very interested in taking this. What do we think the odds are that we can take these on one at a time? Low is the answer. This one will engage. I guarantee you these two will come with. This one might not. So we have to be powerful enough, I think, to take these all on. That's not going to be a thing immediately. So we'll have to come back to that. So we just managed to find mining beam projector, fusion metabolism, ion stellar motor organs, physics research, and engineering research up in Clendath. That's perfect. We want to survey Clendath and then head out this direction to see what we can find out this way. It'll be very interesting to see what's out there, for sure. We're going to be arriving back at Plant Heart very soon, and I'm wondering, did we take any damage? I don't think we need to repair. But we do need to get that additional ship, which should be here very shortly. Fungal emitters. Oh, okay. So there's a fungal trail here. We could also just sell them, or we could gain the Unity. But we'll try to identify the signal destination. So that'll be fine. Let's see what we've got here. Yeah, so we'll just research that right up here in Eastern.
New knowledge blooms.
Okay, so there's that naval capacity. This will give us terrestrial sculpting, which unlocks terraforming. That's interesting because I assumed we already had this. We can already terraform instead of colonization, but we did learn from this continental world that this doesn't change the type of the world. And I think that's the difference there. I want to grab improved Weaver development, I think. Now, this is mature weavers. So this is upgrading us from like bad destroyers to good destroyers, I think. But that's going to be a pretty lengthy survey, or rather a pretty lengthy step. So that's understood. I do want to head up to Aphelion up over here and grab ourselves our 3 minerals that are up this way. That'll be absolutely fine. And of course, we now have 47 for our naval cap. And that means, yeah, you can see here, this is a juvenile mauler and this is a juvenile weaver. This is going to give us mature weavers, but we don't have mature maulers yet, which is interesting. So we want to take this up to 50. So if this is at 10 and this is at 20, where does that put us at? 40 out of 50? So this puts us at 44, and then this would be at 48. Okay, we can just do something kind of like this for now to bring us up to 50 of 50. Now, if we wanted to fully reinforce this, we're looking at 22 ships. That doesn't sound right. We have 21 right now. 22 would bring us up to 43. Oh, right. It's because these take up 2 slots. I'm dumb. Okay, so we can see that the overall amount that we're going to need for this is actually pretty cheap. 1515 alloys and 5394 food. So our food quantity, we can get there pretty easily. How much trade are we actually gaining per month? 84? Okay, let's sell some energy credits here. We've got a decent amount of those. I'm going to sell some minerals as well, and I'd like to buy in a few alloys. I'm just looking at the pricing here, and I'm thinking that's a lot of trade. We may want to hold off on it for now and just build what we can. Like that. And that's what I'm going to do. That'll get us 2 additional juvenile maulers, and then we can use those to come down and start cleaning out these areas. We're at 1,200 at this point, so that looks good. So up here in Clendath, we definitely want to get Clendath basically ASAP, right? So we're going to finish up in Trin's Promise, and then we're going to come up here and look to build a starbase in Clendath. So we'll just travel up there as soon as we can. These guys are now in position here. I'm just going to wait until this Mauler is finished, and then we're going to head down over towards Raxum, is the current plan. So that looks fine. We have a first contact event pending here. Void Worms. Plus 1,000 food for every Void Worm fleet destroyed. Or we could research them, and that's what I'm going to do.
A new voice calls out in the darkness.
These are new. I don't know what this actually does. So let's find out. 1,000 food is a lot of food. Don't get me wrong. But there's also a finite number of those fleets, so that's understood. So this Mauler is going to be done right about now, and we're then going to head on out to Raxum. Actually, just hang out here for the moment. I'll order you to go in when I want you to. So there we go. That's looking good. Over here in Trin's Promise, we're still working on this. That seems good. And the Dawkins Station has finished its construction queue. Okay, so that looks good. So the Meristem up over here, it requires orders. And where do we want it to go? Well, there's nothing for it to do up over here. So Wasker is actually where we want it to go. Or we could have it move to Clendath. Have it come out over here, and then have the Mestem 2 go to Wasker. That's also a distinct possibility. So for now, that seems fine. We're still working on some investigations here. Although we may want to have another fleet come out, or rather another science ship come out over here and see what's going on up this way and over here. We'll probably do that with this science ship. Well, it can kind of survey its way over here. We'll see. We just got these terraformations finished up. So we need to go through all of these worlds here, and these 2 most recent worlds, we absolutely want to put in a Cradle of Rebirth, which reminds me, we are on version 4.0.22, which as of the day I'm recording this, just came out, I think, this morning. So I want to discuss a little bit what changes were in this. I just now remembered this, and there are a couple of changes here, for sure. There's a lot of balance changes, but most importantly for us, there are some quality of life and system changes to wilderness empires. To prevent issues with biomass not being available on planets due to construction, all wilderness jobs are now automatically worked without requiring biomass. These jobs are worked by your primary species. Jobs for wilderness are now also properly represented instead of being worked by a single pop with massive workforce bonuses. You now see exactly how the job is worked, and the sliders are also now usable to customize how much of each job will be worked. Oh, I didn't know that was a thing. Ooh. These changes are intended to prevent situations where some jobs would go unworked, make wilderness less bug-prone, and are intended to give you more control over your economy in deficit situations. We haven't run into that, but I'm glad it's been fixed. So there's a lot of balance changes here. Arc Furnace no longer decreases in mineral output as it increases alloy output. Okay, that's making Arc Furnaces a little stronger. There's also some additional changes up here, of course, and there's a whole bunch of bug fixes. So there's also some AI fixes, stability fixes. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff here. And apparently they're going to be doing 4.1 and overhauling the planet UI again. Oh, okay. Well, that looks interesting. Regardless, we'll deal with that when the game is actually updated. For now, yeah, there's been some changes here, and it's actually supposedly significantly better for our type of empire with like quality of lifestyle changes. So that's very good. But we absolutely do need to get these Cradles of Rebirth built. So let's get those going. We are lacking the biomass to get this Cradle of Rebirth done. Okay.
Understanding spread.
So we're still working on this fungal trail. Let's
We have
continue
a
to do
situation.
exactly that. Who is... Where is this? Orval? That's a very long ways away. We don't have a way to get there. So we're going to have to head over and work in Ablopis for right now. That's okay. So we need to get more biomass rolling in here. Can we purchase biomass? No, we cannot. Okay, that's good to know. So we definitely do need to get more biomass rolling here. So a Cradle of Rebirth will go in here as well. Where did we get a bunch of biomass from? We just were lacking like 200. That's interesting.
System observed.
I don't know where we got that biomass from, but I'll accept it. So we're now ready to move into Raxum, and I do want to do that. I also want to move up and survey this system. And we'll determine what's going on up here and over here and have a little bit more information on where we're going over here, hopefully. So
Cleansing.
we're heading in over here. Crystalline asteroids. Yeah, that's in Bardagon. Sure. Something isn't right there. Yes. We know that this is always going to probably be an issue. Oh, yeah. This is going to be an issue. I'm familiar with this system. We'll get it surveyed, but this tells us that this is definitely heading towards the Hythian Empire up over this direction. And over here, we don't really know what's going on over there yet. So that's noted. We're going to finish up the Trin's Promise research station, and yes, we are indeed going to be mining our own business.
We have
There's a drill rampage here. This is in... We need a construction ship in orbit, and this is down in Grunthurst. Oh, that's very convenient. Research that project, and then go back to building your stuff. That looks good. So we're going to be done in Trin's Promise, and I want them to go to Wasker
The
after
wild
this.
expanse.
So we're going to head up over here. And then we're currently in Ablopis, but we're kind of heading this direction-ish. That's
The
fine for now.
roots of
So mining
wisdom
drone
deepen.
work ethic here. We're going to probably just take the mining station minerals output. That'll be fine. We did clean this up, and we took some damage over here. So let's just go ahead and go get repairs. Back we go to Plant Heart. So we're going to be wanting to go get our debris out over here. Let's research the projects in Raxum and then survey that as soon as we're done with this science trip. That looks good. Okay, so at this point, automated repair systems would be really good in this situation, wouldn't it? We take that, and these ships will continue to repair up while we're moving. So that means that we can actually just kind of sit here, and we don't have to go get repairs. So there's that. Okay, society and physics research, always good. And we got 50% progress on geothermal fracking. Okay. So void
The
unclouded,
roots of
indeed.
Wisdom deepen.
Let's take physics research from jobs. Absolutely. That'll be phenomenal. So this science ship isn't doing anything right now. I really want this science ship to come out over here and start surveying this way so that we can have a science ship heading in both of these directions. That's going to be very important. Exotic radiation, huh? Okay, sure. So we're going to be heading on over to the debris in Raxum. There's an abandoned Kresh habitat that we'll salvage. Sounds good. And overall, everything looks pretty okay for now. Now, we're going to need to do some building work eventually. We're going to need to figure out how we want to specialize these, right? And we probably want to start getting a science world eventually. So this is a pollinating world here. We know that we want this to be a food production location, right? So +3 building slots. That's interesting. A harmonic core. I'm wondering how we would make this go to be... Yeah, so this is about making more alloys. This is about building slots. So maybe food is a building? No. This is a trade job. This is turning minerals into alloys. This is research, obviously. This is unity production. This is defense. And this is housing and amenities. Okay. So if we wanted to specialize this into being food production, our communal biomes might not actually have the capability of doing that. And we might just have to build more orchard forests. Potentially. Now, generally, I like to make our research world, or rather our capital, be a research world. And that's definitely noted. So this is already kind of a research world. We can put a research growth in right here, and I'm going to do that. So we'll get going on that one. Unemployment isn't really going to be so much of a thing, so I think I'm going to have to change how I normally do my building on planets. That's interesting. Because normally I just leave planets alone until unemployment shows up, but in this situation, if we go into our economy, you can see that we just kind of have all of our pops that aren't doing other things going to biomass. So I don't think we're ever going to have unemployment.
Remains dissected.
So that's very interesting. So we just got a first encounter, and do we have somebody that can be assigned to this? Yes, we do. Do we have another first encounter? No. Okay, so that sounds good. I do want to go and attack out over here. We're probably going to take some losses from doing this, but we're going to go regardless. So there's our council agenda done. Fantastic. And we can next do... This is the only option. Okay, so over we go, and 1.9k. Hold the phone.
Clarity spreads.
I was expecting 1k, but that's 1.9k. Back home we go. We'll come back to this. At least they didn't attack us. It's a possibility that we could have won that, but I'm not going to risk it. Instead, I want to reinforce this fleet. So let's go ahead and do that. Okay. A science ship is missing in Yomon. That's this up over here. Okay. So we should probably... Oh, we need a military ship. We need a fleet and gravity snares technology. Well, okay then. That might be a while. In which case, we're going to need another science ship.
The wild expands.
So I'm just waiting at this point. We're going to need food, and we should probably consider buying some food. I'm going to do that, and we're going to get our mining station going here. This construction ship needs mining stations, and this construction ship needs mining stations. And then I want to come over here and get this science ship going, and I'm going to prioritize that science ship. So we have these Omega aliens out over here. That's a pretty powerful fleet. We can't contest that fleet. Okay. So the Crush Star Tribes are threatening us right now. We can't contest their fleets yet either. We could offer them energy, minerals, or food. To be honest, we don't need our minerals for much, so we'll go ahead and offer them minerals. That seems fine. Okay, so we have our new science ship here, and we're going to need a new scientist for that as well. And we're going to head up over this direction. You're going there. Why don't you head back into Yomon? Okay, so that looks good for the moment. Now, there's this Arctic world here. We can't colonize that because it's too different. Continues. But we will be able to terraform that soon enough. The actions of those outside the hive are indeed strange. And we're going to head into Moda. Perfect. Up over here, this is in Wasker. There's nothing else really that we can do here with our construction ship. Unfortunately, we're going to be a bit behind, but we can head over to Bardigan and move up to that. That's still a good choke point for us to hold, as long as we also get this. Yeomon is even better, but for now, we'll just start making our way out here, and we'll see. So that all looks fine for the moment.
System observed.
Wraxum is now surveyed, and that, of course, means that this construction ship can go grab that. And then, in the meantime, we can work on researching anomalies back over this way. But we're still working on getting this fleet repaired back up. So that's at 1737 right now. And I want to continue to reinforce this. So that's going to be 2 additional juvenile maulers. Noted. I also noticed that our military power dropped as our damage, or rather rose back up as our damage was repaired. Apparently, this is now calculated including the repair status and is no longer calculated just off of the ships. That's probably good. That's a more realistic indicator of how strong the fleet is. I like that. Okay, so at this point, this mauler is done-ish. And we do need to get a mining station here in Moda, and I want to go grab Wraxum. Let's get that done. We're a bit low on alloys at this point. The Hythean Empire has declared war on us. Now, we knew that this was likely to happen. That's a 4,000 fleet. Okay. That's a lot. That's a whole lot. What do we want to do about it? Well, the first thing that we want to do is we definitely want to swap the solar panel network over to be a shipyard. We're absolutely going to need a shipyard here. I'm going to buy a few alloys. We're going to get a second shipyard going here. And we are going to immediately start moving this fleet up this way. But we're a long ways away. I'm hoping they attack Sarpocus first. I'm assuming this is basically all of their fleet, and they've been just building to this point and not doing other things. This means that we have probably a much stronger economy than they do. But we absolutely need to work on reinforcing this fleet as fast as we can. This is very, very... This is a dire situation. We definitely need to get some more alloys going here and reinforce this fleet further. I'm just pouring a bunch of alloys into this at this time. And we do know that we've been working on our improved Weaver development, but we're currently working on that Void Worm research. Basic combat roles will be done in 8 months, so that will help matters for us. Now, their war goal is a subjugation. They want to make us their vassal. So if we lose this war, that's not the worst situation. So that's good to know. The real question is, what's their plan? They're currently parked around their station here. Wait, are they going this way? Okay, now they're turning back around. Well, that bought us a little time anyway. Not much, but a little time. It's going to take us about a year to make our way out over here. So this station is not going to be able to hold, but it will do some damage. I'm going to claim these 2 systems. And then our war goal is going to be to conquer these 2 systems at this point. So that's our war goal. We absolutely need to get these additional ships produced. And that's going to be a bit of a problem for us, of course. We have almost certainly a much stronger economy than they do. So let's sell off a few of these minerals. And I'm not going to buy additional alloys at this time. However, I want to move one of these worlds over into being an alloy production world. And the question is, which one? So this is mineral purification here. Well, I'm actually looking for something that doesn't have a lot of resources, but is a large world. So that would be ideally something like this, right? And this only gives housing. This doesn't give additional building slots. So, this is our pollinating world here. I'm looking for a world like this one. I'm going to swap this over to being a crucible world, is what it's called. So that seems okay, and I want to immediately work on building a molt gut here. So we'll get that going. And I also probably want to work on a smelting pool out over here. Now, I'm assuming those build sequentially. Yes. Okay. So that's noted. That will allow us to start producing additional alloys for this war. But I wasn't anticipating them declaring on us quite this early. I'm very glad we didn't attack out over here. That's for sure. It's interesting because in previous versions of the game, a warning popped up that they were planning to declare on us. Apparently, that's either no longer a thing or we didn't have enough intel. I'm not sure which, but it is time to put a cut in here, so I'm going to go ahead and do that, and next episode, we'll see if we can ramp up production enough to do something about this situation. I think we can probably do that, but we'll see. You can leave your offerings to the engagement gods in the form of likes, comments, subscribes, and bell ringings, and a very special thank you to all of the channel members for making this video possible, including ALS Gamer, Dark Horse, Ethan Feldman, Upper Cumberland Gamers, Nick Smarty, Dimitri H, Punching the Microphone, The Lounge, STL, Rornaz, and all the rest. And of course, you. Thank you for watching. If you'd like to support the channel, you can click the join button down below the video. And as always, I will see you all next time.